This is Mike, and you're listening to Feeling Twisty. I'm really glad you're here. I want to start with a story from a listener. This is a wonderful example of how, if we can get past our rational way of thinking and see what we choose to see in imagination, our every goal can be reached. She asked that her name not be used, so I'll call her M. Here's her story. I'm in my 60s. I started losing my hair around 2007. I'm sure that it's devastating for everyone, but for me, it seemed worse. I did everything I could to make it better by buying wigs and even using Rogaine for women. Rogaine worked okay, but it was messy. I was dealing with it every day and never getting the fullness that I desired. One day, I was looking at the Rogaine box and read something that I was sure I had never read before. If you stop using this product, you will lose the hair you grew and even more. I was about to resign myself to wearing wigs for the rest of my life. She says right around this time she had found Joe Dispenza, and she'd learned about his horrible accident that severely injured his spine and how he healed himself within weeks. She says, my mind was completely blown. I got my hands on anything that I could find on the powers of the mind and the subconscious. I made up my mind that I would grow my own hair. My hair would be full again. She thought, if Joe could do it, so can I. And she goes on to say, not so fast, Rogaine said, and true to the warning on the box, I lost the hair it had helped me keep and so much more hair. It was horrible. Regardless, I kept at it. Every time I looked at myself in the mirror, my heart sank, but I continued to see myself with a full head of hair. I refused to see anything but a beautiful me looking back at me in the mirror. I blessed every semblance of growth that I could see. I knew nothing about Neville then, but I realized that we have control over our bodies and our reality. It didn't happen all at once, but today my hair is healthy and it is beautiful. I look at the area where there was no hair and continue to be amazed at the power we have within. I'm no longer shackled to any product or anyone else for the things that I want. I'm convinced that we only lose our hair because it was programmed into us. What a wonderful story, isn't it? She gave up on reliance on the Rogaine, dropped the second cause and turned within. She would see what she wanted to see in the mirror every day and refused to accept anything less than what she wanted for herself. Neville says if you would fall in love with what you really want to be, you would become it. M fell in love, became one with the new image of herself, and she became it. Some might have balked when the medication's threat proved true. Quit me and I'll take even more of your hair. But she held fast to the state of her wish fulfilled. And this reminds me of one of my favorite quotes of Neville's. It's from the lecture, The Law of Identical Harvest. He's talking to Louise Burleigh. Well, she wasn't Louise Burleigh at this point in his story, but that's who he's talking to. She was asking Neville for advice on her idea on whether or not she should take a trip to France. And he told her, you're asking the wrong person for advice because I am not a rational person when it comes to the world. Em didn't do the rational thing. She trusted the power that she is. Oh, the rational thing. Be safe. Don't take chances. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. Make sure you have a plan B, just in case. Aren't you tired of doing the rational thing? Let's all be absurdly irrational. What do you really want? What kind of life do you really want? The rational mind will come up with all sorts of reasons why you can't have what you want. And your rational family, friends, and maybe even the church will have plenty of sound, reasonable arguments against you living the life you want. That isn't right. That's not how we do things in this family. Why, you don't even have a degree. You did what? I've heard those things over the years, but they were only reflecting back to me my own misgivings, my own doubts. My world is assembled by my assumptions, my concept of self, and so is yours. Every little tradition, rule, expectation, doctrine, it's all mind-made. So, if none of those rules matter, if there's absolutely nothing holding you back, no regret or guilt or resentment stopping you, who do you want to be? No more hedging your bets, no more plan B or just-in-case preparations. Go all in. Do you remember the Nestea commercials back in the 70s and 80s? Take the Nestea plunge, when the person sips it from a glass of iced tea and they fall backwards into a pool. Do that with the state of your wish fulfilled. Just fall into it. Take a few moments to just shut out the world. Imagine being the person you want to be. And don't try to force a little scene. As you sit with the desire and imagine it already being true for you, plenty of wonderful images will come up naturally. The hug from your partner, the gasp of excitement from your mother when she hears the news. It's entirely yours to decide what feels the most natural to you. And the feeling you feel is yours to decide. How would you feel if it were true now? Savor that feeling. Savor that imaginal moment. No rush to get back to your day. Just saturate yourself with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You know how when you're with the one you love, you just want to devour them? The passion and the love that you feel for them is so strong, you just want to consume every bit of them. Bring them into you. Nothing outside of them exists in that moment. You only have eyes, ears, everything for them. Fall in love with the new state, the new you. The feeling of actually being or having what you truly want, not what you think you should want, not what anyone else says you should want. What do you want? Become one with it. No separation in time and space. You are it now, right now. Now, how does that feel? I love you. I'm feeling twisty.